you all very much. Thank you. A beautiful day. You having fun at SeaWorld? Are you having fun at SeaWorld? That's good. But I sure do. I'll tell you that. I know a lot of you've heard this story. I'll say it every time I'm here. I don't know how many years I come here. I came here in 1973, everybody, when SeaWorld just opened. It just opened their doors. Remember, I'm from Tennessee. I married my cousin. I didn't. No, my kids have 4 toes. No, I didn't do that. But you can imagine Tennessee raised on a farm. Do you think that I would ever have seen a killer whale? Or not a whale, a dolphin, a turtle? I could go on and on and on for you where I live in the hills of Tennessee. So that's why we have beautiful SeaWorld here, everybody. And no matter this documentary, I won't even use the word. I've never used the word since the thing came out because it's not worth mentioning the word. You know something, everybody? We have a saying in our park, our zoo, Columbus Zoo, and I think, the same thing at SeaWorld. You know me, I'm not a really serious person. I come out, I'm a fun person, and I am a fun person. But you get that little bit of Jack Hanna and send him off the other way, and then I don't stop. Because it's called touch the heart to teach the mind. Touch the heart to teach the mind. Not just here at SeaWorld, not just in our daily lives, but many, many ways in life we have to do that with our children or in ourselves as well. And that's what we do here at SeaWorld. Or like the Columbus Zoo, or many, many institutions that do what we do. Because folks, if we can't touch the heart, teach the mind, then these animals, the beautiful killer whale, all whales, many, many animals won't be here. You know the history, I've done this for 40 years. Take the manatee, for example. There's one good example. The manatee, everyone will show you in history, if it wasn't for SeaWorld, if it wasn't for these parks, the manatee would not be here in 10 years from now. There's no way. I came here and did shows here years ago when this place was so packed with manatees, there was no room for them. So I go back to Columbus, Ohio. Obviously, that's not where the manatee lives. And I say, you know something? I need to help the manatee. Because look what SeaWorld, they have them overrun. They don't have the room for them. So I raised $12.5 million. It took me a long time to do it. But we raised it, and we have one of 5 rehab facilities in the world. It cost the zoo, SeaWorld never brags about this, but I will. It cost our zoo $30,000 to bring the manatee up in a jet, a big old jet, bring it there, rehab the animal because of boat hitting or by cold weather, whatever, and we bring them back, put collars on back in the wild. It's a total of about $75,000 to $100,000 per animal. You don't hear, you talking about how many manatee SeaWorld has done is incredible. Another thing, everybody, remember when you see something like this documentary, SeaWorld right now, it's like, you know, when someone might be not ill in your house, this park is not ill by any means, or anything's wrong. But show your support here. Go out when somebody might debate you and talk to you about that documentary. Because I'll give you the information. Let's have a round of applause for companies that practice what they preach in the ways I'm trying to say. And Dawn, who lost her life here, was a dear friend of mine, by the way. And her mother is sitting out here right now. I'm not going to point her out whatsoever. That should tell you something. The beautiful foundation they built in her memory should tell you something. It should tell us that Dawn and what she believed in is what we mean, right? I think about her every day. Her pictures in our house, or one of our houses, our house in Jupiter. It'll always be there, but in her memory, because she's right there watching this right now. And always remember that, everyone. You know, this is what it's about, is education. We have to educate people to save these animals. And that's why I come to the parks today. So I just wanted to share that with you because you've had a lot of fun. I can tell you one thing. You saw the Letterman thing up there, right? Did you see Letterman? I get to do the last show, one of the last shows in April. I've been working on a project now. I'm going to have this, so he'll probably find out through y'all tweeting him or something. That's okay. I got a special monkey, a big monkey. He's going to jump on his hat just like mine. I tried it 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to fake him out. He's going to be talking to the bathroom on his head. So you don't want to miss that in April. It should be quite nice. This first animal, everybody. This first animal coming out here. And by the way, this is something, everyone, that you will never see in your lifetime, probably. Now you talk about SeaWorld or the Columbus Zoo. We'll get this on the camera here. I can look at the screen and see what we got. What is that? Mountain lion, right? That's a beautiful shot, Tommy. It's called a mountain lion, cougar, or puma. What you're looking at, though, is one from the wild. Again, 95% of our animals in zoos and aquariums today, 95% come from other zoos and aquariums. They do not come from the wild. This animal here, though, did come from the wild. What happened to this animal, everybody? Look at the bill of this cat here. If you go to a zoological park, even ours, we have mountain lions that are born in our zoological parks. This animal was born in the wild. How did this animal get here? Listen, I was worried he was going to see himself and attack the screen. Anyway, let me get out of the way here a second. This animal here was actually almost burned to death. In September, where I lived part-time in Montana, I was reading a little newspaper. It talked about a terrible fire in the Bitterroot Mountains south of me. 3 or 4 firefighters, I don't know how many there were, with me probably over to this lady here doing the signing. The little animals were like not even 6 weeks old. They were screaming. The fire was burning all around them. These firefighters called the helicopter in, holding about 1,000 gallons of water and chemicals. They came over and dumped it right there on top of them. It was seconds before they were burned to death. The firefighters ran and grabbed both of them. I read in the paper, I said, where are they going to go? Because you know we have so many animals. It's very difficult to do it with the mountain lion. You cannot take a mountain lion basically out of the wild and put it back in the wild. Because a male mountain lion, within 1 second will destroy the female's babies. And then if they're born, the mountain lion will eat them. So you can't put them back there. That's why she breeds and leaves at him. So what you're seeing, everybody, is exception. Plus, look at the coat of this mountain lion. You can see it pretty dark now. It's a lot darker than what the camera's showing you. There's a gene they don't know, they've never seen one like it. So you'll be following this animal in the news. But this animal will have a little over $2 million habitat at the Columbus Zoo when we finish it. He and his buddy, his brother. So there's an example of not just what the Columbus Zoo does, but what SeaWorld's been doing way before we even tried it. So thank you, Tommy, our beautiful mountain lion, the longest sleeping cat in the world. And by the way, everybody, Tommy's a veteran of the Iraq War, by the way. Tommy, round of applause for Tommy. So you see, there's a perfect example of what the Columbus Zoo has done. And where did we start that, by the way? Because of SeaWorld is how we started the whole rehab thing. That's not a bald eagle. Now, a lot of you say that's just a pelican. I'm sure many of you live here in Florida. But you know something? My wife Sue and I have seen pelicans all over the world. It's still one of my favorite animals to watch the beautiful formation they fly. But also, you know what I don't like to see? In some of the shows I've done? I get chills when I can show you a pelican. I don't know the history behind this one. But the one down in Florida, the Bush Wildlife Sanctuary down there, which you should see the pictures they took of it, hanging in fishing line because no one did anything about it, hooks in like this. The bird looked like it, just feathers and bone. They said no, they didn't put it down. The gentleman down there said, no, we're not doing that. He took it home, put it in his tub, he worked months on it. And now that pelican, just like this one here, is an ambassador to his buddies in the wild. You might be, don't do that. He won't do that. Anyway, he's an ambassador to his buddies in the wild. By the way, folks, I'm not anti-fishing. I like to fish, okay? I think it's tremendous. The thing that disturbs me the most, on the piers down in Jupiter, Juneau, those piers out there, my wife Sue and I go out there whenever we're there, and we pick up not one little plastic bag, a big plastic bag, a fishing line with hooks. All you gotta do is go to the garbage can. It's not that hard. Right now I'm working with the people in the turtle sanctuary to come up with either some kind of punishment or fine. Have you ever seen an animal go like that? With fishing line and hooks hanging in a tree? I don't think that's the right thing to do. All you gotta do is put in a garbage can. So I hope you guys support your people here. When you're gonna go fishing, just put your line away in a bag with animals like this beautiful creature here. The pelican is an outstanding creature. They are something else, aren't they? What's his name? I like Bumbley. Bumbley, that's what I call my pelican at home. Now, real quickly, so they swallow the fish whole, right? How come they don't choke?
How come they don't choke? That's a good question.
I know, I'm just so bright. Anyway, let's hear it for our beautiful pelican, all right? Thank you so much for that. There's another rescue animal, everybody. I would tell you now, I can tell you it's hundreds of birds, thousands of birds they rescue and put out in the wild. The SeaWorld does. Thousands of them. This animal here is something you have, some of you seen, some of you haven't. I'm trying to stay out of here. You see it, you know, I'm not on your way to home. This, everybody's called the serval cat. Those of you who might have been to Egypt before or seen something, not many people have been to Egypt right now, but hopefully someday you can go back to Egypt. This is called the serval cat. This cat gets to be probably about maybe 2 to 3 times that big, not a very big cat. Its front legs and hind legs are different lengths, by the way. Look at that closely, everyone, because it's one of the only cats in the world that can catch a bird in free flight. This cat can go anywhere from 6 to 10 feet in the air, like a bullet, in the grass, grab a bird and fly back down. It's also a carnivore, right? 60% of his diet, 60% are insects and worms, not meat like that, like you might think. How does he do that? Several animals in the wild do this. Even some leopards do it. When the elephant go down, maybe 50 elephant down, let's say a pathway like this, or giraffe, or 1,000 zebra, what does the earth look like behind them? Looks like a bulldozer went through. So this little creature sits back about 2 miles behind the last animal. He goes, like a cafeteria in front of him. You know, stepped on frogs, mice, all kinds of little things. They're sitting, insects, by the way. They love insects. They're sitting there in the ground. So that's how he hunts. He doesn't do any work at all. He just follows those animals. But it is called the serval cat. And look at the back of the ears there if you can. You see the back? You see the spots back there on those ears? Yeah, right there. You skim on that one ear. There you see it. That's an eye spot, everybody. Several cats in nature have an eye spot. So this cat is sitting there eating something. And all of a sudden a hyena, whatever, even a lion were to come up to eat him. He's not going to do it. He thinks he's looking at him with those eye spots back there. And it works. It's amazing how that helps this animal in the wild. So that animal was hunted for their coats at one time. That's not the problem basically today. Matter of fact, this animal is coming back pretty good in the wild, the serval cat. Where you see this animal probably, everyone, is on the inside of the pyramids. If you go to Egypt, you'll see drawn on the inside of the pyramids, the serval, just looking just like that. So thousands of years ago, the serval existed in Egypt. We know that the pharaohs are even buried with the servals in their mummies. So it tells you, was it something they worship? Was it something because of who they were? I don't really know the answer to that question. But that animal dates back many, many thousands of years. Thank you, Tommy. There's probably a rat in there somewhere. Or something. And that's also a solitary cat, too. A solitary cat. This animal here, if you want to stay right back, the best lighting back here, you tell me. I don't know. There we go. Beautiful shot. That's a lemur, right? A lot of people say, oh, that's just a lemur. It's not just a lemur, it's a prosimian, which means he's on planet Earth before monkeys and apes. How long goes that? Who knows? So this animal has been here for I don't know how long on the planet Earth. This animal is also from Madagascar. It's not from Africa. Madagascar is an island off the coast of East Africa. Where Kenya, Tanzania go about 1,000 miles out there, you see Madagascar. If you're to Google down to Madagascar today, Google down, you'll see a lot of mostly brown. 100 years ago, mostly jungle. That's been stopped now. The people now realize they can no longer continue that. That's where this animal lives. The only place he lives in the wild. They say there were over 60 or something different types of lemurs 50 years ago, maybe 100 years ago. They keep varying on their numbers, but there were 60-something different types of lemur, or subspecies of lemur, and today there are like 22 to 24 left. But those are stable, by the way. This is the largest lemur family. The red ruffed lemur and the black and white ruffed lemur. That's as big as they get. I don't know the name of the lemur. There's one you can put in the palm of your hand as well. They're very social. They can have families of 25 to 100 of them in one family. This tail right here, everyone, to me, is one of the most amazing things with the lemur. People say, what's so big deal? This thing here, if I did not have the sense of touch, everybody, there is no weight to it. It's beyond even a feather. Look at this thing. It floats in the air. There's a bone in there. How that thing does it, I don't know. It's mainly used to locate their mates or friends, or even when they get alarmed. The hands, you look at the hands there? Look at that hand. You can show the hand, I'm coming close on the hand or not. It's amazing, the hand. Almost just like a bar on the hand. They also have two teeth here, little sharp teeth. They crack open nuts and groom each other with the teeth all the time. If a snake ran underneath here, they mark their territory with. There's a unique creature, everyone, the beautiful, beautiful red ruffed lemur from Joe Slavin here at SeaWorld. Here are two animals here. Two Homo sapiens, both of them bachelors, 6 foot tall. Went to house. That's pretty funny, huh? That's funny. Oh, I'm sorry. What is that? I just said that a fox. This is a swift fox and a Fennec fox. The Fennec fox is over here on this. There he is. That's full grown, by the way. It's the smallest fox in the world. It does live in the Sahara Desert. This animal also has big ears. Why is that? Yes, it hears little insects and things on the ground. Also, those ears keep it alive. An elephant, for example. Look at an elephant when you go to a zoological park, when you go in the wild, Asia or Africa. They're always flapping their ears the heat of the day. It's like your radiator on your car. There's blood vessels, thousands of blood vessels in an elephant's ear. And they're flopping it back and forth to stay cool. Without those ears, the elephant's going to die. Same thing here. This animal has to have the ears in the desert. This animal also eats, like, one of his favorite things are scorpions. You see those big old black scorpions? He eats scorpions. He loves to eat scorpions as well. It's called Fennec fox, the smallest in the world. They're also nocturnal. When you film them, like in the wild, the Kalahari, whatever they see them, it's like little eyeballs at nighttime. The only way to film them. This right here is a swift fox. That's one from our country, right? The swift fox. They call it the miners. What is it? No. They call it. See, I didn't know the swift fox was coming out. It's pretty swift though. It was, by the way, very endangered. It still is in the wild. But the miners used the fox to put in the, I guess, the mines many, many years ago. And the poor fox didn't make it. I guess gases were down in there. Did I read that right? I just make that up. No, I read that, okay? There's a swift fox, everyone. It runs, how fast he run? 100 miles an hour? No, yeah, about 20 miles an hour. Next audience, I'll know what I'm talking about. Thank you very much for being swift fox. I'll see y'all later. It really is the one that we had many thousands of them back in the 1800s. They're not there anymore. The animals aren't. Oh my gosh. This is slowpoke. That's what I call him. See there? Look at this. That's a sloth, everyone. One of the slowest moving mammals in the entire world. Why would that be the hardest animal for me to film? Why would this thing here be the hardest animal, one of the hardest for me to film? If I'm over here, everybody, and there was that sloth, let's see that tree right there, I would never know it's a sloth in the daytime. What happens, I was just in Panama several years ago filming the sloth as well, and then of course in Central and South America, the Amazon, up tributaries and everything like that. That's a beautiful coat on there, isn't it? But in the wild, everybody, it looks like he's almost dead because algae grows on his fur. It rains a lot in Central South America. His greatest means of protection, greatest one, is camouflage. He turned so gray, and the one I saw in Panama was, I swear I thought the thing was gone. It's just slimy. But he'll live a lot longer. And they live in trees like that in the daytime. They get in the corner of a tree like this, and you would not know it's an animal. It looks like a big blob of moss. His heart rate drops even. Nighttime they do come out, and he eats like the flowers, leaves, all sorts of things. He does go down to the ground and go to the bathroom one day a week. If he went to the bathroom in the treetops, that dropping would fall on the ground, and ocelot, jaguars, harpy eagles would all hear that and eat him. So he comes down to his bathroom real fast, and goes back up in his tree. They spend their whole life in 4 or 5 trees, everyone. Is that a two-toed, right? Two-toed sloth. I mean, yeah, you see a two-toed is right here. Yep. And it's a two-toed, like I told David Letterman. He said, Jack, what's the difference in two-toed and three-toed? You idiot. One got 2, one got 3 toes. I don't know what the difference is. But the three-toed is a little bit bigger. But the animals also have teeth. Over here, like you, they have 2 teeth on the front, like yours, not sharp, right here. And I'm going to tell you, once they go into you, they'll rip you apart. It's happened once, 2 years ago, I saw it happen to a friend of mine. It happened, you didn't even blink your eye, and it was just ripped, gone. And that's what they do, if they're on the ground, they were to fight a jaguar or something, they would lose, but that animal would have the best of it. He'd be cut apart. The animal also, they say in the wild, I've not seen this, I've seen video of it, can swim. How that thing swims, I don't know. You look at his legs here. You know, it is used for pets when they're little. It's also a consumption animal. It is used in some people that have the animal to eat the animal. But they're a beautiful creature, everybody, one that dates back to the dinosaur era. The prehistoric sloth, they said, weighed over 1,000 pounds. So there he is, everyone, slowpoke. Thank you so much from SeaWorld. But the sloths are an animal we're using a lot more in education right now because of how long the animal's been on the planet, because of people just for some reason know a lot more about the sloth today than they used to. This right here, another animal I doubt if you've seen, everyone, it's called a palm civet. Now, it doesn't look like much to you. A lot of people look at animals like, boy, where's the tiger? Where's the elephant? Where's the koala bear? Where's the panda? Those are all iconic species, everybody. There's no doubt about that. But little animals like this are just as important in nature as well as some little worms are. You've heard that before. This is a palm civet. Some of you might be doctors, some of you might be nurses. About 10 or 15 years ago, I don't know how long ago, there was a SARS disease. So I see the head's body. The SARS disease, everybody, started in China. Why? Because this animal you're looking at was a delicacy. It cost like $200 in a restaurant. Now some people say, oh my gosh. Remember something, we have cultures in our country. But Sue and I travel the world to film, we see cultures you wouldn't believe. And we're now trying to educate some cultures about, like the gorillas. They used to eat the mountain gorillas, by the way, some parts of it. The rhino, I'll be going on for you. And education's done so well in the last 100 years, we're trying even better now for these things. But this animal here, there were millions of them. Not millions, who knows how many there were? A lot. When that disease happened, the people started dying in China. About 2 or 3 weeks later, they're dying in Toronto, Canada. That's how fast it spread. As a result of that, they destroyed all they could find. There are no more in captive environment anymore, by the way. Just like we have mad cow disease, some of you might be farmers. When there's mad cow disease, every cow within how the radius is taken out. That's what happened here. This animal, though, is doing very well in the wild. I've never seen him. I've been to Malaysia and Borneo, Singapore. You never see that thing at nighttime. It's in the mongoose family, by the way, which means it eats anything. Toddy's been with us for 14 years now. But you know what he likes to eat? I don't care if it's fruit, eggs, birds, whatever. This thing loves to eat snakes. Guess what he can eat? A king cobra. I've seen the video of it. A king cobra, everyone, 1 drop of venom can kill an elephant. 1 drop can kill an elephant, a king cobra. We filmed it, we did in Malaysia several years ago. For me to where we have this sign over here, I saw one 17 feet long, stand up as tall as I am, and flare out like this. A cobra strikes like this, everybody, like that. That's about how fast it is. A rattlesnake will hit you 3 times, you won't even know it hit you. A lot of these snakes are so fast, you don't even know it hit you. Not the cobra. He can hit you, but it's like this. And he follows motion, by the way. He doesn't follow necessarily the scent on the heat particles on his tongue. This little guy here, lives in the treetops. He sees a cobra on the ground, and he just stands over there where he can't get bitten, and the cobra's trying to get him. And this little thing walks around the cobra. The cobra's going like this all the time trying to get him. Then this little thing back here starts running around the cobra. The cobra goes like this. Like this. do that for about 10 seconds. The cobra does it, and then cobra falls over like this, and he bites the cobra's head off. It's not funny, but it's for the cobra, but it's funny to watch. Also, one last thing. Is he going to the bathroom? Oh, he did, yeah, he did. Tell Brian to clean it up. Anyway, this thing also, go to Starbucks today or tomorrow. Ask for Palm Civet coffee. All right, just try it. Palm Civet coffee sells for $500 a pound. I see some people smiling because they don't tell the truth. This came out 5 years ago, Palm Civet coffee, and I don't know if they still sell it. I think they do. $500 a pound. This thing goes in the forest, eats the coffee bean, goes in his stomach. I say eats it, gets in his mouth, gets in his stomach, goes through his intestines, has a coating all over it on the ground. They take it and bake it and sell it for $500 a pound because it's supposed to help you with your medicinal, your vitamins. Enjoy Starbucks. Anyway, thank you so much for bringing Toddy out today. He's a beautiful animal, Toddy is. That's not a piece of tail, by the way. That's his regular old tail there. Now here, I want to let these ladies talk about these little creatures. Yes, there may be very small primates, and they're going to let you see right there. You see what you're seeing. You want to see right there and kind of see what they're shooting, so you see how to talk about it. I'll let them talk about these little creatures. Yes, they were used for pet trade years ago. They're not anymore, and they'll tell you which one's endangered, which one's almost extinct in the wild. We've been over there to film them in South America. Certain countries that have this animal, it's not that hard necessarily to find them. When you do find them, there might be 30 to 100 of them in a family. But this is as big as they get. They're going to tell you how big they are when they're born real quick.
Well, this little girl is Mary Kate. She is a cotton-topped tamarin, one of the rarest and smallest primates in the world. Mary Kate is already 7 years old, so she's not going to get any bigger than this. And they only weigh about a pound, so they're pretty small. When they're born, mom's usually going to give birth to twins that are only about the size of your thumb. They're really, really little. And they have a very fast metabolism, so they have to spend a lot of their time looking for things to eat. So lots of fruit, leaves, bugs, and lizards. Mary Kate really likes lizards. Unfortunately, these primates are considered critically endangered. Very, very endangered in the wild. There's only around 6,000 birds left. That's mainly due to deforestation and the fact that they have been caught over the years for research and also the pet trade, which is illegal. Look at the other one. This little guy is actually the closest relative to Mary Kate. He is a common marmoset. His name is Stanley. He's 3 years old. He also comes from South America, mainly Brazil. And in the wild, these guys are actually quite promiscuous. The females will mate with many of the males and then spend their lives with their offspring. They have very sharp, dagger-like teeth and very sharp claws that they use to dig at the branches of trees and eat the tree sap.
That's their favorite tree. As you can see, he has a very long tail. When they live in the wild and they jump from tree to tree, they like to live in treetops, and their tail helps them balance as they jump through the trees.
These little things you hardly ever see everyone unless you know where they are. So thank you so much again for you guys, Joel and SeaWorld, for raising these, because a lot of, hopefully they'll be here for many, many young people to see in years to come. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Yeah, we've only filmed those once. I know it was in Brazil. I'm not sure where Sudan were when we filmed them, but it was fascinating to watch them in the wild. And they're also pollinators. They pollinate like a bee does from tree to tree, seeds and that type of thing. No matter how many, I'm the veteran of the Army, the point is, no matter who you are, this still, I get chills, I'm not being corny. This is an incredible thing right here, everybody. Obviously, American Bald Eagle. Another thing, if you're at the park here today, when you have that national anthem played in the morning before this park's open, which you've done for I don't know how many years, I never hesitate to think about all of those, and I'm not here, especially in today's world, that's why we're here today. And this is another reason right here, our national bird, the American Bald Eagle. SeaWorld does a great job also cleaning up bald eagle nests. These birds, a lot of them are injured. You would not believe the number of bald eagles injured every year. However, the bald eagle has come back incredibly well, not just in Florida, in all of our states. This bird here, everybody, on the Lake Erie in Ohio, in 1978, when I went to Ohio, the bird was down to 5 nesting pairs. Today they have over 225 nesting pairs. So it shows you what can be done when we all work together. It's a regal bird, there's no doubt about it. The eyesight of this bird is phenomenal. We're just so lucky in Montana where we live part-time. We have a bald eagle nest 2 years in a row now that hatches the babies. And a bald eagle, when they're hatched, the little baby chick there is about as big as my fist, all right? We've seen it happen, I've seen it happen. In 12 weeks, the baby eagle's as big as that. One of the fastest growing birds in the world. But no white head or tail, as you know. That's 3 or 4 years. So yes, bald eagles have some issues. And by the way, I'm not an anti-hunter. And not many hunters would even do this. There are some people that might see a young eagle, there's no white head or tail, swoop down and get a chicken or get something like that in the farm, the ranch out there. And they said, that's no buzzard or wherever's I gonna get that thing. But I know all ranchers in Montana would never shoot a bald eagle. No hunter would ever shoot a bald eagle. But they're a beautiful creature. Well, look at the talons on his hand there, those feet, so to speak. You know what that is? If a parrot were to get on your hand, or a swan, or which couldn't do it because they don't have talons, this thing here, by the way, this would never happen. I'm just going to tell you how powerful it is, but it would never happen to you. This bald eagle, if you come down and land on your arm, this gentleman here, if he didn't have that glove on, it's 1,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. 1,000 pounds of pressure. If it hit his arm, it'd go through his skin, his muscle, and crack his bone in 1 split second. He's a pretty big guy, too. But that's how powerful a bald eagle is. People think of the bald eagle, most birds are prey to hunt live things. I've seen the bald eagle many from everywhere in this country. They're mainly a bird that would pick up something dead, the cow, like in Montana, if cattle go into a snowstorm, or something's hit my car. You won't just see buzzards on them, you'll definitely see bald eagles trying to get on them. Like the peregrine falcon, the Harris hawk. A lot of these birds of prey will only hunt something alive. The bald eagle, yes, they will do that. But if they have something that's down there laying there, they'll also take great advantage of that. But every time I see that bird, and thanks to this beautiful SeaWorld, and again, our national bird might be proven someday. If it wasn't for this park, these birds wouldn't be here. So thank you, SeaWorld, for saving our country, freedom. That's what it means right there. Sometimes you can fly the bird, by the way. I think there's one bird in this country, in Alcicero, that you'll see flying at a lot of the ball games over the parks here. That bird's over 30 years old and flying for over 20 years. And he has one of the only permits to do that out in the park. This, everybody, is the fastest land. The dog, where do we pick the dog up? I don't know where the dog. No, I'm just kidding. What all these folks do at the Columbus Zoo is we do have an incredible cheetah breeding program there. The cheetah, everyone, last June, just this last June, the cheetah was declared the most endangered cat on the continent of Africa, just in June. Now the leopard was there, but the leopard's coming back pretty good. And the cheetah was at a real bad point 6 to 8 months ago. We now are seeing a little bit of an increase in the animal's population. That's a young cheetah. How old is that one, bud? How old is it? Year. That's about a year old. That cat will get to be probably not quite twice that big, maybe. Now, is that one of the legs? All right. If you can look at the front legs a second, this cheetah was born, his legs, everybody looked like, like this. I can't even describe it to you. The veterinarian said, Jack, what do you want to do? I asked all the people who said, well, it's not going to be normal when you're walking. We have one choice. We have to break all 4 legs and set them. I was just said, well, I've heard of people having this, so let's do it. Now look what the animal is. Yes, you'll see the crooks in the leg. Animals walking very good. We will be in a breeding program, no. What we will do, we'll educate the public with the cheetah. These cheetahs have homes and comes in. They're incredible, by the way. There's a place called the Wilds, and look it up online, the Wilds. There's 10,000 acres we have, about an hour and a half from our zoo. We raise a lot of cheetah out there, wild dogs, all sorts of animals. But this, people don't understand how fast it is. If you go home today and you're on the turnpike or somewhere going, oh wait, what is the speed on your old turnpike? It's supposed to say 70. I swear to God, these people pass me going 80 or 90 miles an hour. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I told my wife last night, I said, I don't know, so I'm gonna kick this thing up. It won't go over 100. But I don't know who you got great speed here. Anyway, go 65 miles an hour, go 65. Look out your window, kids. A cheetah will pass you. That's the only way I can describe it to you. When we film it, it takes 3 cameras, and still we don't get it when it's on a hunt. When this animal's on a hunt, by the way, they hunt the heat of the day. Look at the eyes there. What do you see there? See those dark marks on these eyes? Mother Nature, look right now, see the eye look up there? What do football players, baseball players, they have a chalk on their eye, don't they? To see it through the light. Mother Nature invented that thousands of years ago, way before we did, because she has to hunt in the heat of the day. If I was in a plane that went down to Africa, and I'm the only one to walk away from it, right? Let's say I walk 50 yards. I see 6 or 7 cheetahs over there. I don't have to worry at all. If I see 1 lion, see you later, Jack. You're over. But it's a difference in the animal, everybody. They will actually, when you want to only catch the world, they will study their prey. I've seen a tiger on a hunt take down an animal in less than 5 seconds. It's like a bomb going off. Same thing with a lion. Same with a jaguar. Even a leopard. Not this animal. He studies his prey. He'll go out one day and look out there and see, oh, there's an older zebra that's sick, or there's a young zebra, or there's an impala. Next day he'll come back and there's that one he wants. And that's the one he goes for. And it might be 110 degrees outside. Once that cheetah takes off, everybody, at 50, 70 miles an hour, he hits his prey, right? Hits it. 60% of the time, 60% the animal gets away. If this animal has to wait a day or 2 to get rest and tries it again, this cubs will die. Her cubs will die, and so will the animal. Let's say all of a sudden the cheetah gets lucky and hits it. They have to grab right here, right here. It's the only way they can do it. And they have to sit 10 minutes like this. So let's say they start consuming the animal, right? Start to have their meal. What happens, buzzards and vultures in Africa will circle over immediately. What happens then, the lions, hyenas are sleeping, they might look up and say, hey, that shouldn't be right now. There's a cheetah maybe killed. They go over and take the food from the cheetah, and even lions have been known to eat the cheetah. That's number one. The animal already has so many things against it. If you were a Maasai or a person that a rancher lived in Africa, a lot of beautiful ranches here, and a cheetah were eating your cattle, your sheep, or your goats, you would take the cheetah out, or your family's gonna starve to death. So what we've done now, everyone, we used to supply the barrel traps, even bush gardens, obviously right down the road here, right? You don't know what they did to help save the cheetah. All of us did. We used to all day try to get barrel traps. That didn't work. You can't expect a Maasai out there in the jungle with his stick and walking barefoot to check a trap every day. So obviously it gets hot and that was not working. So we now supply the Anatolian Shepherd. Anatolian Shepherd's a dog about this big, like a big old, it's a big dog. And it's a brown colored dog, like, maybe a little bit bigger than that thing. And they have a very bad bark and growl, and they just go after anything. Some of you may have one as a pet. It's not one that is aggressive, but it can be. Let's take that one. And that's what we're supplying now to the ranchers, the Maasai, are these dogs. And so history could show that the dog could save the cheetah from extinction. If you also look at the foot there, I don't know if you can see it or not with the camera. If you look there, you're going to see some claws here. So you can go real close to one of his feet. They're maybe the front foot. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. They're claws there. Look at that, everybody. Very few people get to see that. That's the only cat in the world with non-retractable claws. Very few cameras can show you that. It's like your house cat. All cats in the world can retract their claws. The cheetah's the only one in the world that cannot do that. When you try and track him in the wild, you think it's a hyena because he's got the claws. So why is that? Speed. Look at the tail. That tail acts like a sailboat. When that cat's going 60, 70 miles an hour, we've got video from CBS, by the way, that shows the cat running like this, and you can't see it with naked eye. The cat leaves the ground like this, all off the ground, and goes like, turns like that, and they try to turn to get an animal, it goes back down. That's how fast the animal is. But it's a beautiful animal, everybody. It's a solitary cat, and usually the female on her first birth will consume her young. like a lot of animals do in nature. So I just want to thank Columbus Zoo as well as SeaWorld for allowing us to bring that beautiful animal here to show you guys. I think that's the last animal, isn't it? Anyway, I just appreciate all your all support for a park. I'm telling you folks, it's one of the top parks in the entire world. For what they've done here over the years, I cannot tell you the thousands of animals they've saved that have been involved here, just watching them come into this park for all these years. And I would come here, I don't care if there were 2 people sitting out there. And you'll never hear Jack Hanna like some of these entertainers did this last summer. You either believe in something, folks, or you don't. You don't let this stuff here run your lives. You let your heart run. Thank you so much. God bless you all. God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying Jack Hanna and Wild Days weekends here at SeaWorld. Please join us from 3:30